Say something positive about teaching. Teacher support and / or advice. Hello. I'm 24 and just started full-time high school teaching in March as a test run. I signed a contract to start full-time in September. I have loved the job so far. I interviewed because I thought I'd like it, but every single teacher I have talked to, overheard, or observed here, or on social media, talks negatively about it. My mom has been a teacher for 35 years. She tried to talk positively about it in front of me but ultimately fails. Same with my aunt. How am I supposed to be excited about teaching when everyone's response is basically, get ready. You'll be miserable soon. Can someone who likes this profession say something positive and inspirational to me? No negative comments, please. I already have enough reasons to quit. I'm looking for some to stay. Edit, wow. I am truly amazed and extremely grateful for the comments on this post. I've read every single one and will be coming back to these a lot of inspiration. I want to thank everyone for all of this. This really turned me attitude around. I am so excited to be a teacher. Thank you everyone. I'm a licensed attorney and left the law 7 years ago to teach. I can unequivocally state that I make a bigger, more positive effect on the world on a daily basis in a classroom than I ever did in the courtroom. I've filled an entire binder with letters from students about how I affected their lives. The self-actualization you can get from this career can be second to none. Just remember to always keep the students first. You'll make your own classroom. Neither your mother nor your aunt will be there. Some people are really good at being effective teachers. Now go find out for yourself this fall. Have fun, that is the only way to stay happy and healthy. I've been a high school teacher for 30+ years. I love this. I've been in and out of the game over the span of 30 years. You are dead on about having fun. If you're having fun, so are the kids. I think this is key. My other motto is be reasonable. This goes for me, the kids, and acts as a guide in what we do. I actually have a lot of fun with my 4th graders. It's fun to have a random dance party or get really deep into a discussion where the wheels are really turning and it's clear they're really learning. I 100% agree. When I occasionally have to teach a lesson that I find boring and I can't come up with a way to make it more fun, I'm upfront that this is one of those times we have to slough through it, but I at least try to throw a Kahoot at the end. If I'm not enjoying the lesson, then no one else is either. Kids, and adults, appreciate the upfront approach. You will never be bored. The days go quickly. I usually like 95% of my students, so the one in each class who is a turd doesn't bother me much. And if you have a class that is really hard to manage, they move along after 10 months. Once a day a kid says something so damn funny, I almost die laughing. The first 2-3 years are hard. But if you make it past that, it becomes super easy. Always have holidays off. When teaching is good, it's really, really good. Building relationships with students and watching them master concepts that you taught them is very rewarding experience. That first line is so true. I'll have some real hard days, but you have that one interaction with a kid that's so wholesome and fulfilling that it keeps you going. They make me laugh so often, I always say I can't believe they pay me for your guys' comedy show, rolling on the floor laughing. It gets easier after the 3rd year. And you'll find good people in the job, some who may even become friends. Your first couple of years will be rough. Don't let those discourage you. Find a teacher who is experienced but not negative about teaching to befriend. I became work mom to one of my colleagues 2 years ago, my 10th year, her first, and it became one of my best friendships. She had a safe place to vent, and when she needed to talk something out, I could give her my experiences and what my thoughts were on how to handle it. She gave me an infusion of new and fun ideas and helped me out as well. October 10th. You have the potential to change the trajectory of a person's life. Every day is a chance to make new connections and change the way a person thinks. The retirement and benefits are incredible. Summers off are pretty sweet. Love it. Retirement and summers off are indeed the best parts of the job. I've been teaching for 33+ years. We all have bad days and difficult years, but overall, I cannot imagine anything else I would rather do. Here's my short list. Kids are funny. Interesting, challenging, amusing, infuriating, and goofy, but never dull. Every day brings something new, and no 2 days are ever the same, not sure if that's a pro or con, laughing face. I laugh in my classroom, with my students, every day. It's a great feeling to be involved in the moment when the light goes on for a kid, and they realize that they have learned to do something they didn't think they could do. Every day brings the opportunity for a fresh start, for my students and for myself. I set the rules for my classroom. And if I don't like what I see, I have the ability to change it. I have incredible autonomy and personal choice about program delivery, even within the structure of my program of studies. My materials and teaching style represent my own voice. There are teachers in my building who really like to do everything as a grade level, which is terrific for them, but I have the freedom to be a lone wolf if I choose. Some teachers love to complain. Some teachers love to become martyrs. Some teachers are emotional vampires. You don't have to be like those people, not throwing shade at your family members, I'm just thinking about people I have taught with who have nothing positive to say. Don't let them bring you down. Good luck, and have fun. Even if it's one class. Sometimes you'll smash a lesson plan out of the park. Students are behaving, learning, having fun, and you are just sitting back orchestrating. It's a very rewarding feeling, but it takes a lot of failure and reflection to get there. It's kind of addictive when it works that well. The hard part is those are my 5-minute before class sticky note lesson plans, whereas my prepped for 2 hours stuff falls flat, and I'm left mystified. The problem with teaching is that most of us who do it do like teaching. The teaching part is great. It's all the other things that get piled on that everyone is complaining about. That said, my positive thing is that middle schoolers are generally hilarious. 100% agree with how hilarious middle schoolers are. I always say if you don't get at least one good laugh every day at work, you're doing it wrong. Imagine only being with adults all day every day. How boring. I once had a coworker who was on his second career. He told me one day, every time I have a bad day teaching, I remind myself that I'm not in an office, and it makes the day a little better. Also one time I went to visit my brother at his stereotypical office job and that setting stressed me on a visceral level. Some things I enjoy with teaching. I get to talk about what I love all day long. When kids gush over something they like or just found. When a kid gifts you art or a project they made. I have a set schedule and know what I'm doing each day at every time. I get to use those cute planners and shop for school supplies for myself. Many friends from colleagues, and good ones. I mastered my public speaking anxiety. My input in my own curriculum and the content I teach. Satisfaction in numbers, I like a good spreadsheet. Having holidays and a yearly work calendar set in advance. Job security, a union, and salary scale. Keeping current on a lot of younger trends through students. Meeting so many different types of people, and challenging your own biases. Being able to make positive influences in kids' lives. Tangible products for your effort. Edit, I laugh daily, the kids are hilarious, and it's easy to be a fool for good fun. You have the opportunity to create a safe space for your students to be themselves and feel comfortable sharing their knowledge. You get to help students feel empowered with knowledge and skills. For some students, you give them hope and love that they need at that moment. It's never a boring day to teach. You grow with the students throughout the year. You get to build this little environment for kids, and when you do it well, they appreciate it. I worked really hard to show students that I respect them, to build a positive community. And to get to know them as individuals, and in return they made sure to show their appreciation in return. This year, I joked about being nervous to compete at an assembly and my students made posters cheering me on. Or I was out with COVID for a week, and came back to a poster that said, "We missed you," with signatures of all of my students. You'll always have the kids that drive you crazy on certain days or weeks, but I had kids from other classrooms eating lunch in my room. Getting book recommendations from me, and stopping by for a morning chat. If I hear from any of that batch of students in the next few years, I'll be genuinely thrilled. The students made a lot of the tough stuff feel worth it. 2 hearts. I'll be going into my 13th year teaching and I honestly love my job. I'm naturally quiet and for my first 2 to 3 years it was tough, I'm not going to lie. Everyone always said to me, "You've got to be louder, you have to yell, etc." Guess what? You don't. After a couple of years. Your reputation precedes you and classroom management won't be as hard as it used to be. Be honest with kids, especially teens, and lead with a big heart. They can tell if you care and they can tell if you're lying. Some will try to eat you alive in the beginning. But there are so many good ones too. I started out in a rough district and it was the best thing for me personally. Focus on the good kids to keep yourself motivated. Choose your battles. Don't be friends with the teachers who complain about everything.